travel one day, and what happens? The Eagles sign a tight end. Derrick GUNN backs up what I've been saying. And Mark Holmes, well, maybe we should call him FREDO Holmes, thinks he's in the mafia. Dallas still stinks. You like the way it kicked Dingbat. Here we are 2 weeks away from the draft, and the feeling is the Eagles are going to make a huge splash this go around. And they've got to. They need players that can come in and play right away. And yesterday for me was a traveling day. And of course, the Eagles signed a tight end. Derrick GUNN comes and backs me up what I've been saying about what the Eagles want to do in this draft. And then FREDO Holmes thinks he started the mafia. What are you going to do? Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is yesterday's news, because I was on the road. I didn't get a chance to talk about this or do a video on it, but Ian Rappaport reported free agent tight end CJ Uzomah, the former Pound Bengals and Pound Jets starter, is expected to sign a one-year deal with the Eagles per me. I love when they say per me, at Mike Garofalo. Uzomah, who flew to Philly today, has passed a physical and should bolster their passing attack and give the offense added weapons. Now, my feelings on this is, from what I was reading, this is a Kellen Moore type signing. He's the kind of tight end that Kellen Moore likes. So it just makes sense that they would bring in another tight end. I have no issue with it, really. But I just wonder, does this take any chance of the Eagles taking Brock Bowers in the first round away? I don't think the Eagles would draft a tight end in the first round anyways, but I think that we probably can feel pretty sure that they're not going to draft a tight end in round one. I'm okay with this move. Really, the truth, when it comes to tight end, though, Dallas Goedert needs to finally stay healthy. Like, the time has come, man. Stay healthy. We need him to stay healthy. Now, we do have a little bit of interesting news in regards to the Eagles today. My man, shout out to Jordan Schultz. He reported this: Alabama cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry is a busy man. Sources say he has upcoming 30 visits with the Pound Eagles, Pound Giants, and Pound Falcons. A projected first-round pick, McKinstry ran a 4.47 at his pro day ahead of his Jones fracture surgery in his foot. He will be good to go for training camp. I don't know. The fracture foot thing does bother me. I do worry about it a little bit, but it's nice to see that the Eagles go out and they're bringing in some more corners. I think, a lot of people feel that there's no chance in hell that the Eagles would draft a corner in the first round. And I totally agree that it's not usually what the Eagles like to do, and it sure seems like they're leaning towards offensive line or maybe pass rusher. But I think if you wanted to get an impact player, somebody that could come in and play day one, I think some of these corners can do exactly that. And that's what Derrick GUNN was talking about when he went on Fly Sports with Anthony Grigano. And he was talking about it. He was saying that he had heard that the Eagles are looking for players that can play right away, that they're going to draft and play. This is exactly what I've been talking about this offseason. The reason why you go out and you get a Saquon Barkley, the exact reason you do something like that is because you want to make sure that your defense can get younger and it can have players who need to develop and need to play, and have your offense pretty much protect that defense, carry that defense while that defense kind of catches up. And having Barkley and an offense that they're going to have, it allows you to go out and play some young guys. That's why I think they got rid of Hassan Reddick. I mean, I don't think they would ever do that move if Barkley don't happen. I don't think Reddick gets moved. I think the reason why is because they feel that they can go out and do that kind of stuff. It just makes sense for the Eagles to get younger on defense. But you got to play the guys. I mean, if Nolan Smith had played a lot more last year, we'd have a better idea. I can't tell you that I think, well, I think Nolan Smith has the potential to be really good. But I can't tell you for sure, oh yeah, he is definitely going to be a replacement over Reddick. He didn't play enough. He just simply didn't play enough. But going out and getting Barkley, the great smart thing about making your offense better like that is it gives your defense a chance to get younger and play younger guys. But see, that's the key. You've got to play the younger guys. You don't want to just draft guys and not play them. So I think when Derrick Gunn goes on there and he's saying that's what the Eagles are looking to do, I think that is a great sign. But what does it sound like they're going to draft? That's the question. I think offensive line. I think cornerback. Possibly Cooper Dejean. I consider Cooper Dejean a separate entity, okay? I don't want to call him a corner. I don't want to call him a safety. I want to call him just a weapon on defense. That's how I like to think of him because that's how I believe the Eagles think of him. Now, they could definitely go edge rusher. I mean, I think the most likely scenario in the first round is they're going to go offensive lineman. Now, the good thing about going offensive lineman, you can plug and play that offensive lineman year one. You put him right in there, right guard. If you could get somebody that could play right guard and then kick out to possibly right tackle later, it'd be perfect. The Powers Jackson kid, you could draft him and put him at center or at guard. You want to get players, especially in my opinion, your first 3 picks. Out of these first 3 picks, I'm looking for 2 players to start. That's what I want. I want at least 2 players starting. If the Eagles can get that, that will be huge for us. Offensive line, you could get him a guy, you plug him in right at right guard, you're good to go. And then if you draft, let's say, a linebacker like an Edrin Cooper or somebody like that, I think he would play. I definitely think he would play. Now, I believe, and I'm a big believer, that the Eagles have no choice but to trade up. I think they're going to have to trade up in the first round. I think you need to get to about 15, 16. The Eagles have traded the last 4 out of 5 years. There is no reason that they're going to stop doing it now. I think you need to go up. As far as cornerback goes, if you look at Kool-Aid, you look at Arnold, you look at Quinyon Mitchell, you look at Wiggins, you look at all these guys, I believe these guys could actually come in and start right away. So let's say, for example, the Eagles say, all right, we're going to take a cornerback in round 1. All right, let's say they take Kool-Aid. So you take Kool-Aid, I think you play him. I think you play him and you try to move Bradbury if you can after June 1st. And then you go into that second round, go for a linebacker. Maybe you get an offensive lineman. Even a third wide receiver. I look at a third wide receiver almost like a starter. But you have to come out of this draft with at least 2 guys that are, maybe not just considered starter, but are contributing a lot, that have to be impactful, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. You need it. You need it. I tell you what, I keep coming back to Cooper Dejean, but I'm traveling. I'm out of town for a wedding, right? Everybody that I'm around was Eagle fans last night. I was around all these Eagle fans. Everybody's talking about Cooper Dejean. Cooper Dejean, Cooper Dejean. I think people want him. I think there's more people that like him and want him than I ever thought there was. And I have come a long way. I would be okay with a situation, all right? Now, this would be a crazy situation, but I would be okay with a situation where you take 2 of those second-round picks. You take both those second-round picks, right? Let's say you're forced to stay at 22, okay? Or maybe you can get up just a few spots. But I would be okay with a situation where you take 2 of those second-round picks and you come back in the first round. And if you can snag a guy like a Cooper Dejean or somebody like that on top of it and basically come away with 2 first-round picks, that's fine with me. You need impactful players, especially on defense. Now, I know the Eagles are very high on their offensive line, and I get it. I get it. And anytime you can make your offensive line better, do it. I'm all for it. But, I mean, the way it's looking, and it sounds like what the Eagles want to do is they want to come out with guys that are going to play. I think that puts offensive line in the crosshairs of a first-round pick. I think it puts cornerback in crosshairs. I think it puts Cooper Dejean in the crosshairs, and I think it puts linebacker early second. I do. I think the linebackers are in play early second. But the Eagles have to get impactful players. They do. I mean, they just do. Listen, it could always be worse, right? You could always be a Cowboy fan. Now you got Mark Holmes, right? Oh, what the hell is going on? I'm traveling one day, and the guy is sitting there, guy's pinky ring, he's smoking cigars. He looks like Philly 500. And he's talking about being an OG. You know, he's got his Cowboys Mafia with his communist salute or whatever it is. And I'm like, this guy's losing his mind. The Cowboy fans have gotten so pathetic that they have to start their own mafia because their team doesn't go out and get anybody. Mark Holmes with the pinky ring. Funniest thing I've seen in years. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. You know how you know you're at an old school Italian's house? They leave plastic on the furniture. Denzel Washington, out.